I don't know about you, but I used to get my best inspiration and solve all of my problems when I used to go for a run. But because I don't run anymore, because my body has told me it's time to not run anymore because of my knee, now I go power walking and I get really good ideas there too. It was something about the running, like the intensity of it, that really gets me into that creative zone. And I literally could solve any of my problems. And I also get really great ideas when I'm in the shower. I don't know if it's like that for you too, but that's what happened this morning. I was thinking about my podcast and what I was going to share with you, and this just kind of popped into my brain. Maybe because I was in the shower, I don't know, but the thought about, do I know, or would I be able to say that I know of any single woman who isn't self-conscious or totally aware 24/7 about her body? And I'm thinking and I'm thinking, and I really can't come up with anybody that I've met or that I know of that is just all in on their body and never thinks about what their body looks like, if their clothes fit, what they're going to eat, all of that kind of stuff. And this blew my mind. Think about it. Every single woman is going through the same thing. I know a lot of the times we think it's just us. And even from my perspective, like, this is what I do. I am a health person. I help people get healthy through food and mindset and moving their body and a different relationship with their body. And I think about food all the time. I really do. Like, I love to eat. I love to eat. And that's why it's so important to me to teach people how to eat properly so that you can love to eat and be healthy and have a good body. And a good body is different. It means something different now when we get into midlife. Because I was going out for a walk with my friend Ken, and he's, I think, 10 years older than me, but he's like, when I go out with my buddies, now all we talk about is health. I'm like, that's what happens. I see that happening with my clients more and more. The older that we get, we realize, damn, the most important thing that we have is our health, because you just can't buy more of it. It's just compounding. The better, and the more time you put into your health now, it will compound down the road, so that when you're 80, your 80-year-old self will be like, oh, I am so glad that my younger self took good care of this body, so that when I'm 80, I can still do all the things. Like, my body not being able to do them is not an excuse. And it really got me thinking, like, this is a pandemic. Far and wide, women across the world struggle with the same thing. Where does this come from? Why is this? This is all societal constructs that a female should look a certain way. And if you look that way, then you're acceptable. You're okay. But it's really something that I feel like we as women are perpetuating. How do we, because if we just all got together and decided, it doesn't matter how much we weigh, and I'm talking about, we want to be healthy. Health is of the utmost importance. But if we didn't have to worry about having a six-pack abs, and we were only worried about loving ourselves exactly as we are, then what would that be like? If all women did that, and if all women supported all women doing that, what would that be like? But it starts with us doing it for ourselves. Like, this is how it starts. And I'm like, how do I even talk about this? Well, I thought I could just share my journey, how I think about it, and why it's a thing for me. My whole life, I've always been athletic. So I've always been very active. And then as you get older, you can't do those things anymore. So for me, I create new things that I can do. Always being athletic and active. That for me, I identify as that. So when I was told that I can't run anymore because of my knee, I took up spinning and, just power walking and forest bathing and hiking, all these, and tennis, all these types of fun things. So I can still move my body. But I've recently came across some information that says the predictability of your longevity, and not just how long you're going to live, but good quality longevity, is based on how mobile you are. It's based on your legs, because your legs make you mobile. Well, didn't that just get me doing jump training every day and jump squats? Because I don't train my legs because of my knee until I heard this. And then I got back on leg training, but functional leg training. I'm not going to the gym. I'm not doing leg presses. I'm doing functional leg training so that these are things that I would do when I'm 80, and I can do them with ease because I do them every single day. So that really changed my mindset. But I'm talking about like my whole experience as somebody who is in the health and wellness industry, because I do love to eat. I love to eat. And I've tried all the diets because I have to know what they're like if I'm going to share them with other people or ask other people to do them. So I've done it all. I've seen it all. And the one thing that it comes down to is whatever you do to get your body where you want it to be. Like, yeah, I'm connected to my body. I feel good in my body. I mean, and I just know what that's like, to be really connected to my body. The last time where I felt just so connected was when I was in Costa Rica and Nicaragua. Why? Because I was outside every day and in the sun, in the ocean, in the sand, grounded to the earth, eating whole, clean foods, moving my body. Every time I did something, I had to walk or bike ride or somewhere to get there. And I never felt more connected to my physical body. It was so amazing, other than childbirth. But this was just such an amazing feeling. And it's like, why don't I have this all the time? And whatever you do to get that feeling, like to get connected to your body like that, you got to keep doing it to maintain it. So the diet industry is like $1 trillion industry. And they're based on, like, their thought, their principle, the way they formulate everything is based on, well, it's not going to work. You're just going to keep coming back. So they sell more and more and more of their stuff. They're always trying to sell their stuff. That's keep that in the back of mind. That's what they want, is for you to buy their stuff. And then we compound that with the food industry, which is, again, they just want you to be addicted to their food. It's not meant for health. It's actually meant for illness. All they want is for you to be addicted and to buy more. So you've got these things, these crazy things going on against you, working against you. And over all the years that I've researched into this and all the things that I've done and all the things that I've seen, I know for a fact that if you just did this one thing, you're going to be able to connect into your body. And it is eat whole, clean foods and ditch the sugar. Ditch the processed foods. Sugar is like a toxin. It's a poison. But if you just stop eating processed foods and only eat whole, clean foods, and you only did that, you're going to be winning. Just the basic. And then there's other things we can throw in there, the basics, like move your body for 30 minutes, get your water intake, work on your sleep. But if you only did those two things, and it doesn't matter if you are plant-based or if you eat meat or whatever it is you're doing, if you just follow that philosophy there. Now that seems too easy, doesn't it, when I say it like that? But it's so easy to do, but it's not easy to do, because we have the food industry and the diet industry putting all this money into you thinking that there's something wrong with you and that you need to take this pill or eat these things to get better, to be okay, to be lovable. And that's not the case. And so this is why I say it's up to us as women to change. It starts with us changing how we think and feel about ourselves. Like even if our body isn't where it wants to be right now, if we can just be grateful for all the things that our body can do the way it is right now, exactly as it is right now, That's a great start. You want to start where you're at. If I have trouble loving my body, what's one thing that I could find that I do love about my body? What is it? And then focus on that. It could be the children that it created. It could be that it allows me to walk out in nature, or allows me to go and do whatever I want, whenever I want. I have that ability, and we take that for granted. And if it starts with us and me just lifting myself up, learning how to love my body exactly how it is, learning how to nourish my body, because I said I love to eat. I am never going to thrive in a world where somebody says restrict what you eat, like count your calories, because that doesn't work. You want to listen to your body's cues, because everything is nature. You're nature, I'm nature. And when we look at nature, it's always trying to balance itself out. And our body is no different. Our body is just trying to balance itself out. So if you've listened to me, that if something's going on in your body, it just means your body's out of balance, which is called homeostasis. And then you got to figure out, why is it out of balance? There's two reasons. One is toxicity, too much of something, too many plastics, too many heavy metals, too much fluoride, just too much chlorine, all of those things, all of the stuff that happens in our environment on a daily basis, the air we breathe, the water we drink, the stuff we put on our skin. And then deficiency on the other side, not enough of something. So what vitamin or mineral is our body missing so that it can't do all the things that it needs to do to be healthy and in homeostasis? And then when you get your body into homeostasis, it's designed to heal itself. So instead of chasing that symptom, because when we go to the doctor, we go, oh, I have this symptom, and the doctor will give us a medication to stop the symptom, but that's not the root cause. And the thing is happening because it's your body saying, hey, pay attention to this, something's off here. And then it's your job to be an investigator and be like, oh, what's off? What's going on here? And if you can't do it, no problem, but you put yourself in a room with people that can help you do that. That's what I try to do with my clients. It's like, okay, how can food heal this? Always healing with food. That's the first choice. Food first. And then if that doesn't work, then we go to supplements. But we want to figure out what's the real issue. What is our body trying to tell us? Because it's always giving you feedback. And it's just pure genius. Your body never lies, and it just tells you what you need to know. It's that simple, but it's that hard, because now you got to put on your investigative cap, your PI cap, and figure out, okay, well, what is this? How do I fix this? And you start trying things. Functional medicine is, and I think it's on the rise. I think people are realizing that we need to see our body as like a whole big thing, not just like one little section. Because if I'm stressed, that's going to affect my health. If I'm not eating properly, that's going to affect my health. If I don't have enough money to pay my bills, that's going to affect my health. If I fight with my partner all the time, that's going to affect my health. And as your healthcare provider, you want to look at all those things, all of them. Because that's what's going on with you. Because remember, everything that we create comes from our thoughts. And so if you're going to a healthcare professional that isn't looking at that part of you, then they're missing half of the puzzle, key pieces to the puzzle. But you can do that for yourself. Learn those skills. When we know better, we do better. And so if you're not taking the best care of yourself, it's just because you don't know how. That's all it is. I really believe that. Because I believe that you want to be healthy. I believe that you want to take care of yourself. And when we look at how society is set up, it's set up for us to fail. Like, it's hard as women. It's designed for us to shame ourselves, to not love our bodies, to struggle with our bodies all the time, and then to tear down other women. And I honestly feel like women, especially midlife women who have raised children, are the best resources that we have, because we just know so much and we're so kind and so compassionate. And we have a really good idea of who we are and how we can help people. And that's what makes us so powerful. And that's why I want us to come together and lift each other up, starting with ourselves. So this is what I was thinking in the shower, and I'm like, we have to talk about this. Like, I'm just wondering, all the women listening to this, is there one of you out there that is like, nope, I disagree with what you're saying. I totally and completely love everything about me and my body, and I'm good to go, and I never think about it. That's not even on my radar during my day. I don't know about you, but I just love nourishing my body with food. And I hate to cook, but I love to eat delicious food. So for me, what works is I do calorie density, and I eat low calorie density food so I can have as much as I like. And I make really cool, fun things out of it. So it's delicious. But you know what else I do? I'm consistent. I just eat the same foods over and over again. And I make it super simple. And you know why I do that? Because to me, the importance of having a healthy body and a healthy relationship with food in my body, that's how I have to do it. If I look at somebody who has this crazy diet, restrictive diet, and then this crazy gym workout, that's not me. I can't do that. So I don't want to be following that person. I don't want to be like taking advice from that person. I want to be taking advice from the people who live a real life, who are in the daily struggles, who love to eat but hate to cook, and who are plant-based. I'm plant-based, but when I do my work, I work with tons of people that eat meat. It doesn't matter if you eat meat or not. It's the same philosophy that you apply, because it works for me, and it's a healthy relationship with your body and with food. And it's based on abundance and nourishing your body and understanding how your body works and what it needs. And I want you just to spend today just thinking about checking in with how you feel about your body and what's your relationship with your health and food. And as you get older, how is that changing? And what are you looking for now? And what would you need in order for this to be, like, for it to not be a thing, but you just out living your life, and here's what I do when I live my life, and not be obsessed with food or obsessed with how your body looks, but just feeling good and talking about it with whoever. Ditch the shame. The more we talk about this, because remember, shame needs secrecy and judgment. And the judgment is always self-judgment. And the secrecy is, don't tell anybody about this. But what if you could? What if you could say, like, I struggle with my eating? What if you say, I binge eat, and then I beat myself up, and then I just don't want to eat anything because I've overeaten, and I need help with that? What if you could just say all the things, and it's okay, because all that is just feedback. To me, there's no judgment. I'm listening, and I'm trying to figure out the thought process behind it, and then working to change that thought process to something that serves you. And I did get mad in the shower, because I do think that it's like the societal constructs of what a woman should look like, and what, just all of that. It really bothers me, because what I want it to be is what works for you. How do you want to look? How do you want to feel? And whatever that looks like, forget about pleasing all the other people. Forget about pleasing your family or your friends. Who are you, and how do you want to show up in your life every day, and what works for you? Even if it pisses everybody else off. Because we as women, we're people pleasers, but I want to encourage you to be a people pleaser. Start with yourself. What makes you happy? No matter what anybody else thinks. See, this is just the kind of stuff that I think about in the shower. I'm like, how can we help even more women? What do they need to hear today? What do we need to talk about that nobody's talking about? So if you want a safe place to talk about this, come and join my Mastering Midlife membership. This is what we do in there, and it is the safest, the best place where you can do this kind of thing. And if that doesn't work for you, that's okay too. Find somebody that you can talk with. Find a place that you can share. Find a group where you fit in, or a group where you're like, yeah, I'm resonating with what they're saying. And it's the same with your nutrition. For me, it's about living life. How can I just live this big, full life and nourish my body with food where it's just, I could do it forever. It's not restrictive, and I really enjoy it. I love eating my food. So go out there and advocate for yourself. Find that for yourself. Create a community. Find a community where they're speaking your language and you feel like they understand you and that you've come home. Thank you for listening. Always, always, always love yourself first. Love yourself exactly as you are, and have an amazing day.